Tony. let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go! 6! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Welcome to The Rush. Glad to have you guys along here on the you guys and gals along this morning. Good to have you here on a Tuesday morning. Ross Peterson and Justin Miller in with you today. Of course, you can follow us on all the socials on X at Rush Mornings. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. Hold on. See, I'm still learning here, folks. Watch this, though. Watch this. See, that goes away, and then you got all of it. On Instagram, The Rush Radio Show, and, of course, Facebook, The Rush with Travis and Ross. Not quite Travis and Ross today. Instead, you've got Ross and Justin. What's up, buddy? How are you, man?
Doing really good. Always feels good to wake up early with you.
Thanks for coming in with me again this morning. Yeah, we've already had fun this morning. Justin and I've laughed till we've cried, talking about Andy Samberg movies, playing old clips from the movie Elizabethtown. Not even a good movie. Not even a good movie at all.
Mediocre movie.
But man, some really funny stuff in it.
Yeah. And I like Cameron Crowe. Like Almost Famous, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Justin, this is one of those things that I'm so bad with, like directors, producers, writers. I know the name Cameron Crowe, but I don't know what that means. Like I don't know what a Cameron Crowe movie is. Almost Famous and Elizabethtown are two of them.
He also did Say Anything, the John Cusack one.
Oh yeah.
That was one of his first ones, if not his first one. I think he did We Bought a Zoo. That's a good one.
That's
I like
Matt
We Bought a
Damon,
Zoo.
but I've never seen it.
That's a good one. That's a good like Audrey would love that movie.
Oh, okay. I'll check that one out. I like that.
But see, like my dad, when I was a kid, we'd watch movies and my dad would sit there and he'd be like, okay, you see that actor? So he was also in X, Y, and Z. He also wrote, like my dad knew that stuff. So I just thought once you hit the age of like 21, you could drink and then you just knew everything about like movies. I thought that was you maturing.
And then like every human being, you have this day when you realize that adults don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, my dad was just a loser and watched a lot of movies. And I'm following right in the footsteps. Love you, Dad. I know you're listening.
Let's see. John wants to know, is Travis hungover today? No, John. Travis is in Italy today. And in fact, if he was hungover, Travis would have already worked through that hangover because I think where he's at right now, it's noon.
Or he's just building up to one for tomorrow.
He's either recovered or on his way to. But either way, it's not he was hungover. He's not is hungover, John. Get it right, dude. And here we'll get into things, but Swilliams, we'll just go with Swilliams.
I like Swilliams.
Justin Miller knows sports better than anybody I've heard on any media. And then he fires off. By the way, that's a compliment. He didn't want anybody to, because if Travis was here, Travis would go, "Thanks a lot, Williams. Thanks for not thinking that I know sports. I know sports too."
Thank you, Swilliams. I am a little concerned on who you're. I mean, Trevin Ross. I get. Maybe when they're talking about Paige Sporanic's boobs, I get how I could maybe.
And don't worry, everybody. Even though Travis isn't here today, I do have titties on the rundown. Okay.
First link I clicked on, you had all this in the rundown. I went straight to the titties.
The rundown to Justin today does have a lot of stuff in it. I mean, like a lot of stuff, a lot of NFL news for us to get through. I want to talk to you a lot about your Arch Madness trip, but I found a ton of stuff last night that I thought would be fun to talk to you about. One of them was the thing I sent you. We're going to get into some gambling in sports across the pond, which is really interesting. There's some stuff happening here in the States that I found super interesting that touches on one of my hot button issues. You know, we're going to be hosting the Olympics.
It's in LA, right? In 2028.
There you go. You got it.
Oh,
You got it.
Also, wait, real quick. Mike Dest might have just put the best comment in. Titty Tuesday.
I mean, we
Yeah.
can do it.
Yeah.
We do have lady listeners too, though. So
Doesn't everybody like boobs? Like, I thought that was a universal thing. It's like chocolate. Like, it may not be your favorite, but it's good.
do you know anybody that doesn't like chocolate?
No.
I do. My buddy Tommy Carter, my barber.
Really?
Yeah. Doesn't like chocolate. Makes me not trust him. Quite frankly, I'm just gonna be honest.
You're gonna come back next week and like there's gonna be patches.
Yeah. If you don't know, I do trust the guy. If you can't tell, he makes miracles happen with this shit box.
I think you look good.
I
I think you look
Justin.
good.
Thank you. I got about 4 people. I got about 4 people that think I'm all right. They're the ones
They're all right.
hold them real close, real tight. That's my group.
Well, I mean, I just say it because you pay me to say it.
That's the check clears. As long as the check clears,
Yeah.
you keep saying nice things to me and about me. Hey, it's better than a lot of people.
And here we go.
Oh no, I won't even. I will save it. But that I had a really good day yesterday. Let's just say that I had a really good day. Got a chance to get some stuff off my chest. It was a good day. I'm not going to spill tea today because it's not worth it. But let's just say 1 down and a few to go. And
By the way, I am on that list. People who always comment saying I'm the one talking shit about you. It's just so hard.
not.
It's so hard to not talk
it's
shit
so
about
easy.
you.
It's just so it's too easy to talk. See, there's Joe. Joe says he doesn't like chocolate either. I wonder what the percentage of people are. I wonder how many
Let's do
people don't
research.
like chocolate
Researching.
and can't there's this thing that dogs are allergic to chocolate, but
Yeah, it's
I
like
shouldn't say but.
poisonous.
I shouldn't say but because it is allergic to chocolate. Dude, there's a lot of things. I didn't know dogs. I've had dogs my whole life. I didn't know dogs weren't supposed to eat grapes.
Yeah, the skin is poisonous.
The skin?
Yeah,
of a
it's
grape
not
is
actually
poison?
like
How
the
do you know this?
November's been crazy, man.
A lot of time to myself on the
Yeah.
internet, dude.
You go down through rabbit holes. You were one of my mentors. Rabbit holes were kind of our thing. No, my
That's
mom
cool.
actually told me that. Like the skin of onions and the skin of grapes are poisonous to, I think, like cats too.
That Swilliams just wrote. Cats can't eat grapes or raisins.
Well, yeah, because raisins are just grapes.
What? No. So the chocolate thing, all right? I've had dogs my whole life. I've had dogs, and as an adult, I've had 4 dogs. I've had 3 that were mine. I had Mickey was my giant Malamute mutt. He weighed about 180 pounds. He was enormous. Then we had Yogi, who was a sheepdog, and then now I've got Kirby, and Kirby's pure mutt too. Yogi. Okay, so we'll go back to Mickey. Mickey at one point ate a box of 100 grand candy bars. A box, not a 100 grand candy bar. My ex-wife worked at like a daycare center, and they would get food delivered. Well, they couldn't give the kids, sometimes they'd get candy delivered, and they couldn't give the kids 100 grand candy bars. So the adults would say, "Hey, I'll take this one, you take that one, whatever." Aaron brought home a box of 100 grand candy bars one time. Like, oh, cool. We left. Come back in, and it's destroyed. It's destroyed. The dog ate every single 100 grand candy bar in the box. Never had a problem. Pooped a couple times. It was totally fine. Now, the sheepdog. We're on vacation one time. We come back home, and the sheepdog has gotten into a can of cocoa powder.
Oh.
It was like Godiva hot cocoa mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think my grandma used to have that stuff.
Dude, my little my little sheepdog, I remember like grabbing onto him and looking at him, and I'm not joking, his pupils were vibrating. I'm like, oh, something's wrong. Something's wrong. So we had to take him to an emergency vet. They fed the dog, I think it was called activated it was some sort of charcoal. I think it was activated charcoal or something. Some people know. And that made the dog throw up and get rid of all of it. But that one was one like, yeah, he was going into tachycardia. It's where his heart was going to race so fast until it basically exploded. So good thing you got him in here and got it taken care of.
The eyes vibrating would be terrifying.
Wild.
That'd be very concerning. I think too, like if your dog ate something bad, isn't it where you could give it like a little tiny bit of, I could be completely wrong, but like hydrogen peroxide because it makes them
like that. Yeah. To make them to induce the vomiting. Yeah,
I think that's part of it too.
November.
November.
I love it, Justin. When you leave a man to his own devices, man, it's amazing what he can do with himself.
Lots of movies and a phone that you can research anything on. Bad combination.
I wonder what the science is behind the chocolate and the dogs. Because, again, that thing with Mickey, my first dog, that wasn't an isolated incident either. I mean, eating the entire box of candy was the most exaggerated of it, but like, I remember he would get into like the fun-size Snickers around Christmas time, and the funny part of that was that his poop would then have little sparkly tinsel in it because of the colored Snickers wrappers.
I remember as a like really little kid, because we were still doing like Easter egg hunts, and I remember we forgot an egg, like. Didn't know where it's at. We just completely forgot about. One of our little dogs got into it, and there's money with the chocolate, and they ate both of it. And then one day we were picking up the poop, and my mom's like, "Our dogs are pooping money," and like you could see like half of the dollar bill just like kind of hanging out. It's like, oh my God. We're going to be on Ellen in no time.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's good. All right. Waiter says dark chocolate is more dangerous for dogs. I think I've heard that too.
But isn't that more healthier for humans?
Is more healthier the way to say that? Is that the rightest way to say that?
Yes. I'm just going to say yes with confidence. Isn't that the healthier way for like humans to eat chocolate? Is dark chocolate?
Justin, why are you asking me? I'm an idiot, and I'm skinny. Like I don't eat and I don't know. So sure is my answer. I guess.
That was just the answer I was looking for.
My definitive answer is maybe.
Okay, I believe you.
Justin, thanks so much for coming in. Glad that you were able to get down to Arch Madness, and that's where I'd kind of like to start the day, because I do have a lot of NFL stuff that I want to talk to you about, because free agency got kicked off yesterday. We really couldn't pay attention because X was down for a while, so yeah. I want to get people up to date with as much stuff as we can, because there were a ton of movements and really some big names. Not that the league like shifted yesterday, but man, I mean, quarterbacks in different places, and some of the stars are going to be having new uniforms. A lot of your guys, man, a lot of changes for your Seattle Seahawks. But let's start first with your trip down to Arch Madness, man. Everything you dreamed of, Bulldogs go down, get the victory. What was your takeaway from St. Louis?
Well, first, thank you so much in Agency Iowa for letting me go down there. You guys were a huge help, along with, of course, the title sponsor of my podcast, Media Row, Kelly's Little Nipper. So first off, thank you guys, because without you, it's not possible. But yes, dream come true. 2023, I went down there as a student broadcaster, and that one felt special just because it was the perfect, like, it came full circle. Became a fan in 2008 of Drake as a little kid, wanted to go to college there all my life, get to broadcast them winning their first championship since that 2008 year. It was perfect. This one, it was nice because in 2023, I didn't get to watch every game because my pass was only for Drake. And then this one, I got to sit there and watch every game and like fully enjoy the entire tournament. And I loved covering Iowa State last year in Kansas City. That was really fun. But there is something, and being a fan of Drake is definitely 90% of it. But St. Louis is really fun. A lot of cool stuff you can do there. They have, which I know you would like, the history of Western expansion, that museum underneath the arch.
Seriously, Justin, one of my favorite museums.
Okay, see, I've been there twice now, and both times I haven't been able to go. So that's still on my bucket list. But they have Ballpark Village is a blast.
Brought it up. Ballpark Village is awesome. You can go there and you can swing Yachty Molina's bat. Probably not Yachty's anymore. Now you probably swing somebody else's bat, but you can hold the bat that Lou Brock used. I mean, they make you wear gloves.
Yeah.
That is really cool. And man, you talk about nerding out, dude. The Museum of Western Expansion, or basically the Lewis and Clark exhibit, is what it used to be. I could spend hours there. Hours. That's one of my favorite things to like just nerd out on is Lewis and Clark. So that I'm shocked.
It's one of mine too.
It's so cool. The museum is amazing.
Well, it was one of those where I was like, okay, today I'm going to do it. But then I was like, I kind of feel I got to watch these games because, one, don't know when I'll be back. Hopefully next year I'll be back. Hopefully it'll be a returning thing. But I wanted to like fully experience the entirety of the tournament since I hadn't got to in 2023. But it was a blast. It's a dream come true to see Drake go on this run because just the shift. I mean, when I was in junior high, elementary school, when people would go, "Hey, are you a Hawkeye or Cyclone?" And I'd say, "Oh, I'm a Drake Bulldog fan." You would get the
who's your favorite team?
And like a pat on the head.
Yeah.
That's nice. And now it's like, no, I'm a Drake Bulldog fan who have won 3 straight Missouri Valley Conference titles. Second team to do that. They just win.
Yeah, a friend of mine, a fellow realtor, Nick McCarger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Nick posting about that group of Drake fans that went down there together as kind of like, I think he said something like, "This is more than basketball. This is about family," or something to that effect. And I looked at that picture and I thought, man, that is the beginning of something. And not the beginning. I don't want to downplay what Drake has done and built over this time, but what Nick and that group are doing, that's the important stuff for getting a fan base that continues to grow and really does build that community of fan support that you're talking about. When you're down there, Justin, and you're talking to the other media folks, what is the conversation around the Valley? I mean, we're still looking at this as a one-bid league. Your teams are still kind of dropping. It's a changing landscape. Where is Drake in that changing landscape, and what does the Valley look like in a couple years?
That was so I talked with Mike Kern, who's the head of the Valley, and one of my first questions to him was, how's this tournament going to look next year when there's only 11 teams? Because as of right now, they don't really have an idea of who would be able to come over. At least that's what I was told. I know you guys talked about Omaha. Possibly.
I think there's some rumors, but nothing's locked in.
And it's just more, a lot of the conversations was just about, there's so many good players in this conference. I mean, all right, the freshman from Valpo who went off just made himself a lot of money in these 3 days that he played there. But it's a changing landscape in these mid-major teams. It's really hard to keep these guys. That's why it's impressive when like Brian Wardle for Bradley is able to keep guys like Darius Hannah and Duke Dean for as long as he has. It's so easy to chase money and you don't blame anyone. I would do the same. You're telling me I could go make, over $100,000 at a different school. If I'm more. 21,
or way more.
Yeah, I'm going. And then, you look at it as you could go and play in the NCAA tournament nearly every year. You're at this bigger school because you have a higher chance of not just having to win your conference tournament. That was more kind of the conversations that I had with a lot of people, was just how it is really tough to be a mid-major right now, but it's also really exciting because everything's changing every day. So you never know what's going to happen next. And then finally, with the Drake fans going, Emanecker and I were talking just about how great it is to see fans traveling for Drake. Because, man, I mean, with DeVries, his first year, there wasn't that many Drake fans. They sold the most tickets to Drake fans this year for that Ballpark Village walkthrough that they do every
Very
St.
cool.
Louis than they ever have.
I saw Dave Lubbers was down there. I saw him posting about being inside of Ballpark Village. But then what's the is that what they call that entire area now? Justin, I was thinking it's called.
They call that entire area Ballpark Village, but the main place where like they do the walkthrough, they have all the TVs, like a live DJ. That one's called Bally Sports Live because that's where they would do the Cardinals like pre-games live there.
Yeah, that's a cool. I remember when I went in there the first time, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be amazing." I've never been down there when it was amazing, but I've been down there. It's a very, very cool place. I do. St. Louis is not my favorite town. That area of St. Louis is really cool. What they've done around Busch Stadium and the Arch, to me, that I enjoy that. But St. Louis is not. See,
that's all I know of St. Louis, and also I know they have a free zoo.
Just don't go to the
so that's cool.
Stay away from the airport area.
I have to go to the airport actually next month. So
in St. Louis?
Yeah, we're going to Florida, and there wasn't a direct flight from Des Moines to Florida in like the Thursday we needed to fly out.
You're not staying at a hotel near the airport, are you?
No, so it's a layover. We go Des Moines,
good.
St. Louis,
to
Fort
Myers. You're going to be in the St. Louis airport. You're just not. I meant don't go around the airport.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like the airport sucks.
You can go outside the airport. Keep your head on the swivel. Okay?
Boxing out. I watched a lot of basketball this weekend. I think I'll be good.
What's the consensus on Garrett Sturtz?
Or Bennett Sturtz?
Bennett Sturtz, sorry, yeah. Well, Garrett's gone.
Yeah,
What about
Garrett? Oh, beast. But with Bennett, it is just everyone in the conference. It was no question that he deserved Larry Bird Player of the Year. Yeah. I mean, the performances he had day in, day out. The 2 games against Bradley, though, he only combined for a total of 12 points. And then the championship game puts down 24. I mean, he is just incredible. One of the most athletic players and one of the best all-around Valley players I think I've seen, at least since I've been really focused on the Valley since I was like 11 years old. I mean, Doug McDermott's probably my favorite Valley player from Creighton, and Ron Baker, Van Vliet from Wichita State, those guys.
I remember those Wichita State teams that were, they were top 15 teams.
Oh, Ron Baker really was my guy. I loved Ron Baker.
I always liked the little guys.
Yeah. Van Vliet was fun to watch, but people always forget about because Baker was like the leading scorer on that team, so he's always remembered. Van Vliet has had a really good NBA career, but people always forget about Cleanthony Early. Do you remember the big guy that they had? He was my favorite. I loved Cleanthony Early. He was my guy. I think he played for the Knicks for like 2 years and then was done. But he was awesome too.
That one doesn't ring a bell to me.
I remember as a kid going because they would play Wichita State. I remember for like 2 years straight, they played Wichita State at the Knapp Center on New Year's Eve. And my dad and I went to both games. Met Melvin Edgem at one of the games randomly enough. But you'd go through and you'd watch shoot-arounds. And Drake is over there like missing layups. And you look over to Wichita State and they're like doing alley-oops, dunking. You're like, okay. March. Anything can happen. Let's go, guys.
Corver was one of the guys I remember. Obviously, the connections there kind of ran deep. Just not only being from Pella, there were some other Central Iowa connections with his family. And so I just remember rooting for him. That was probably the first guy that got me going, oh, yeah, Creighton. Okay, I know where they are now. And I'm going to pay attention to that. That was good. All right, so now let's go to the big one. What are the thoughts on Ben McCollum?
that he's going to be a hot commodity. I don't think that's changed at all. It's just gotten bigger and bigger. I mean, he would be great with any team. As a Drake fan, of course, I would love to keep him. But again, the same way I feel about players, I don't blame anyone for trying to improve, get a step up, make more money. I don't blame anyone for that. And this was a guy, though, that waited in Division II for this Drake job. So he doesn't strike me as a 1 year and then bouncing kind of guy, but we never know.
I would say, Justin, the but on that has to be if the right job comes up.
Yeah.
But if and it could be this year, like we were talking with Goodman about, the pot's pretty thin right now. I mean, the available coaches list, everybody can put TJ on their list. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think he's going anywhere unless you're talking about absolute crazy life changing, and none of those jobs are available. So I don't think that's the wish list quickly goes down to the Ben McCollums. And I think when you're talking about some of these big time jobs, Ben McCollum's probably had all the conversations about that dream job that he wants. Born in Iowa City, Iowa fan, I'd imagine that dream job is Iowa. Seems to me like that job's going to be opening. It's going to be open in the next couple of years for sure. No matter what. It's going to be open here soon. Might be open in the next couple of weeks or months. So
that's one too. Like he strikes me as a guy that would coach really well in the Big Ten. Like his style.
Justin, I stay away from predictions like that. And not because I hate being wrong. I love being wrong. I'm wrong all the time. I was wrong twice before coffee. It's not that I genuinely don't know. I have watched this long enough to know that you can watch a guy. I mean, dude, we've had it happen at Iowa with Todd Licklider and Fran McCaffrey, guys that had success at that mid-major level and then came and their careers went like this. One guy is canned after a couple of years. The other guy goes on to have the most wins in Iowa basketball history. So
Keno Davis leads Drake to that magical year and then leaves for Providence. Not even like a Power 5 school. Leaves for Providence and now is out of coaching.
Gonna be interesting. His name's going to be thrown out there. Our buddy John Alexander, and I know John. He's got just a few years on us, Justin. But Hersey Hawkins is one I wouldn't have come up with. Best Valley player he ever saw play in college. Now, if we're going back that far, I'm just being honest here. I'm not even sure the history of the Valley as a name, how far that goes back. I mean,
it goes back to the 50s when Cincinnati was in there because of Oscar
Larry
Robertson.
Bird was a Valley player because he's the Valley Player of the Year is named the Larry Bird Award.
Yeah, and Oscar Robertson, he played with Cincinnati. But funny story about Hersey Hawkins. So I learned this because I've become really good friends with one of their Bradley's play-by-play announcer, Dave Snell, and he's been there since the mid 70s. And he said there was a story of they were driving in a car. It was him, Hersey Hawkins, his wife, and a couple of other players. They were driving back from practice or shoot-arounds one night, get out, and there was a lady getting her purse stolen. And the two Bradley players jump out of the car, chase down the robber, beat the crap out of the dude, and get the purse back to the lady. And Hersey, who's huge, knew he had an NBA career, so he sat in the car and just like shook the guy's hands when they came back in because he was not risking losing all that money for a purse. But
so he was a smart guy also.
Very
noble, but smart. That's that priority list.
Yeah.
Okay. He went through his checklist, and the first thing was smart. He's like, okay, I want to get down to noble. I want to get down to noble and go do this thing, but I'm smart.
But I could make a life-changing money here. But I wish I could remember the city they were in because the cops gave the Bradley team all like honorary police like badges.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
And some of these names I was aware of. Joe wrote in A.J. Green is one of the best
Oh,
Valley
my
players of
God.
all time. He's super good. Doug Collins, Jerry Sloan. John also wrote in another one, Xavier McDaniel. Is that name? Do you know Xavier McDaniel?
No, that one
you-
actually doesn't ring a bell.
Dude, you know what I think of when I hear Xavier McDaniel? I think of him choking Jordan.
Wait. Okay. Story
Go
time,
look-
because I don't
dude,
know this
okay,
name.
all right. I'm gonna put into Xavier with an X.
Okay.
Xavier Daniel. Okay, and he at one point, I'm almost certain of this, man. Didn't he?
He was on the Supersonics.
Oh, isn't this true? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Yeah, you got my thing going on there. Let's see.
Oh, he was part of the. Okay, so I just found the clip. He
Dude.
was part of those Nick teams
Yeah.
that would always play the Bulls in like the semifinals or the championships. And I'm watching the clip. Yeah, he goes after Jordan.
Oh, dude, yeah. He went after him. Hands
Beelines.
around his neck. Hand like trying to choke Michael Jordan. Latrell Sprewell on his coach. Tyler, thank you so much. I'm running the ship, and I needed that.
That's great. Because I haven't looked at the time at all. I love it.
that. Thank you, Tyler. Follow
I
us
love being
on,
called squirrels.
all the socials. You got us on Twitter. You can get us on Facebook. Now I'm just hitting all the wrong buttons. Got to get all these places. Travis might join. I don't know. Travis didn't say he was going to join us today, so I don't think we're going to see or hear from Travis, but maybe we will. Either way, we're going to get to a whole bunch of fun stuff today. Justin and I are going to get into a lot of NBA talk, or rather NFL talk, with NFL free agency kicking off and a lot of names moving around the league. We'll do that next on The Rush here on therushradio.com.
March is a perfect time to buy at Willis Chevrolet of Granger. Drive home with low lease payments and special financing options for 2025 Equinox and Traverses. 2.9% APR for 72 months plus up to $7,500 in federal tax credits for eligible buyers. 2025 Equinox EVs and Blazers EVs. At Willis Chevrolet of Granger, we're here to make your car buying experience easy, stress-free, and friendly. Stop by today or visit us online to lock in these savings before they're gone.
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's trusted expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly wildlife solutions at a fair price. We safely remove bats, squirrels, raccoons, birds, and more so you can sleep soundly again. For a free estimate, call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig, Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Hi, I'm Steve Ollinger, Service Director here at Willis Nissan. On February 12th, the Iowa State Patrol reported over 170 accidents during the snowstorm. This month, February through April 30th, we are offering purchase 3 tires and get the 4th for $1 to keep you safe on the roads. Go to willisnissan.com to schedule your appointment today.
Rolling along with hour number 1 of The Rush on therushradio.com. Hit that like and subscribe button. Never thought I'd say that. Just hopping on for a minute, guys. Hoping you'll subscribe to my page here. It does help us a lot. It's amazing. And Travis is kind of an early adopter to this YouTube thing. Man, it's amazing. So, yeah, and I had never subscribed to a YouTube channel until Travis started this one for us. And it is super easy. And a lot of people don't even realize, like, free. You don't have to pay a subscription. We do this free to you guys. And then, of course, hope you go to Willis Auto and get your oil changed over there, get your car detailed. You don't have to be a realtor and make a bunch of money to go to Willis Auto, okay? They got used cars also. You can have that luxury Willis name and brand on a used car they've got Chevys for like $15,000. So you can fool your friends into thinking you're the type of person that can afford a Willis car by affording a Willis car. That's how great it is. It's that easy. And then you build a relationship with them over there, and you foster that relationship over years, and that's the way that you build relationships in a town like Des Moines. You don't lie to people, you don't steal from them, and then they're your friends. So, Justin, thanks a lot for giving us time here on Tuesday morning. Again, got through most of our Valley discussion there. I love the stuff that we're getting here. We're getting a ton of good names that are thrown at us for that best Valley player of all time. God, and again, I'm kind of like, I think Frank was right. The best one's Larry Bird.
Yeah, yeah. When I say Doug McDermott, I mean like that I was able to watch with my own eyes.
I understood that. And dude, Doug was unbelievable in college, man. He was so much fun to watch.
Well, so like at that time, it was perfect timing because I was in junior high, about to start high school. So I was doing a bunch of I was playing basketball, doing a bunch of these summer camps. And I was always, since I was taller, I was always put in that like power forward position. But I liked to shoot the ball. So I liked watching how Doug McDermott was this power forward and could shoot from anywhere on the court. Like logo threes, was great. One of the best players in terms of footwork I think I've ever seen in the post too.
Back to the basket, Justin. I never saw a guy that knew where he was on the court the way that Doug McDermott did. And again, that's just from growing up in a gym and being that gym rat your entire life. He had a sixth sense for where the basket was. It was incredible how he could have his back to the basket, spin, and be at the rim the way he was. I'm just a huge fan of McDermott, and he seems like a good guy, too. So
yeah, I almost bought, because I'm not a huge NBA guy, but I do like the Spurs. If I had to pick a team, they're my team. And when he went over to the Spurs for like a 1-year, very minimal contract, barely played, I was like, I need to get a Dougie jersey for the Spurs.
Yeah.
I think that would just be a cool looking one.
I think that, and a couple folks are weighing in on this, so we'll just continue this conversation for a moment, because I think this is good stuff. Tyler wrote in and said, remember that Doug, and I should put our thing, Doug signed with UNI, but then Jacobson let him go to follow his dad. He says, oh, what could have been? Very good point, Tyler. And I think that showed that relationship between, first of all, shows what kind of guy Jacobson is.
One of my favorite people to interview through this time in the Valley. He is so cool. He reminds me of
just
Bill
being
Self.
around him. He does not. Okay, so I want this. What I was about to say, I think, could have come across as an insult. So I want to be careful how I phrase this. Okay, because Ben Jacobson does not act like the other Division I coaches I've been around. Even the ones that weren't very successful. You know, Travis and I have talked a lot about Mark Phelps. We really liked Mark Phelps. We went golfing with the guy a couple times. Mark Phelps is a dude that he had really blue language, and he just fit. Travis and I were like, yeah, he feels like our brother. You know, he feels like a cousin that you go out and get drunk with. But there was something, he had this kind of cockiness about him. I think that if I'm going to try to find the ways to make this the compliment to Ben Jacobson that I want it to be, Ben Jacobson has zero cockiness. I'm not saying there's no ego there. Ego and cockiness are two different things. You don't get to be an athlete like that. You don't get to be a coach like that. You don't get to make money like that unless you've got a little bit of an ego that says, man, I'm the man. I'm the man. But where it doesn't pour out of Ben Jacobson. When you're 20 feet from him, it's not like, who does this guy think he is? A lot of coaches are that way. A lot of coaches carry themselves like, they're so lucky to be in my presence. That's not
Look
Ben
at
Jacobson.
Hurley calling himself the greatest coach when he's yelling at
really?
refs. Did you not see that clip? They've been ever since that clip. UConn's been like, I think they've had a close to 500 record since he made that. He was yelling at a ref, and the ref started to walk away. And he said, "You're not going to walk away from the greatest coach like that." Yeah,
that's the stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Ben Jacobson saying something like that?
No, not even close.
No. And that's exactly the stuff I'm talking about. Very admirable coach there.
And
go ahead.
Because I was saying how he reminded me of Bill Self. When I interviewed Bill Self last year with Kansas, I was like, okay, I see why players go play for him, not just because of the championships and the potential of growing with Kansas. Yeah, that's probably a big part too, but just the way he speaks, the way he's able to just kind of stay real, if that makes sense. Because sometimes coaches, they just give you...
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20...
Justin, that was me. I'm hitting buttons over here I shouldn't be hitting. We took
I'll be done talking, I guess.
We took the first commercial break too late. I thought we'd take this one too early. Jump right into it.
Mid-sentence.
Keep them on their toes. Never know which way I'm coming at you.
But Bill Self, with Jacobson, interviewing him, same exact way of like, you sit there and you go, oh, I see why you're so successful. Because that's a good way of he doesn't pour out cockiness, but he pours out confidence. And he pours out like, I know what I'm talking about here. And that's why every year you and I could be 15-15 in the Valley Conference. And if they made it to the semifinals or championship that year, you'd go, makes sense.
Yeah. I was trying, when I hit the commercial there on accident, I was trying to get to a compliment. Jeez. There a reset button?
Yeah, I think it's called a commercial break right in the middle of your sentence. I think that's a good one.
You said Bill Self. I'm like, no.
Don't like that. Oh, you know what I do miss? Because this does make me think of our Google Meet, like how we had it set up at the station. I miss how when you did like thumbs down or thumbs up, we'd get random balloons or like fireworks go off.
Again, you'd say a comment, and all of a sudden Google would like float a thumbs up past you.
You're like, oh yeah,
Google knows I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, FBI agent that's watching our call. Appreciate that. It's exactly what I wanted to say. Cole wrote in and said, I went to Mason City. I'll just say McDermott and Barnes shouldn't have been allowed to play on the same high school team together. It should be some kind of law. I remember because I was covering high school sports for the radio station at that time. And I remember getting sent up to Ames to cover a game. And I'd heard about Harrison Barnes. I think that he was a sophomore at the time. And went to the gym. And I mean, it's like a William Wallace story, right? I'm expecting to walk into the gym and see this 9-foot-tall high school basketball player. Like when Ames comes out of the locker room, I'm going to know which dude is the one, just by appearance alone.
Yeah.
And they come running out, and you're like, 5 of these guys look like they could play in the NBA. But I will tell you, it took about 4 seconds of the layup line to go, oh, that's the one they're talking about. The kids whose sneakers hit the backboard. He's the one that everybody's talking about. I see it now. Yeah.
I remember because at that time, my family, we had just moved to where my brother and I were going to Southeast Polk. So my very first Southeast Polk High School basketball game that I watched as a kid was against Ames, Doug McDermott, and Harrison Barnes. And I remember being like, oh, okay, let's see how Southeast Polk's going to give these future NBA guys a run for their money. And yeah, first half, I think Southeast Polk had like 18 points and Harrison Barnes had 40 alone. And it was just like, oh, okay. This is what I'm getting into.
Yeah. And they also had Boo Boo Paulo on that team. I mean, they were ridiculous. That was the best high school basketball team. I would imagine one of the best basketball teams in the state of Iowa. I mean, you got to go back to even like all-star teams probably, where you had Heinrich and Collison on the same team, or when Dean Oliver and Ricky Davis were on like an AAU team together. That I saw those guys play a couple games together, Dean Oliver and Ricky Davis in high school, and now those are two kids that, Justin, I even think they like verbally committed to Iowa as like 8th graders.
Really?
Somebody's going to fact check me on that. I remember it being super early that both of those kids, because Ricky was from Davenport and Dean was from Mason City. So they didn't play with each other in high school, but they played on the same AAU team together, and somebody will even remember the name of that team. And I saw them do ridiculous stuff in Des Moines.
It is crazy to think about because, I mean, you had Harrison Barnes, Doug McDermott, both of those guys nearly play for Iowa State. And then Doug nearly playing for UNI. And then you also had Page come out of Iowa. And, like, I think Iowa State was one of his final... Marcus Page
he was from Linn-Mar, or from what? He was from the Cedar Rapids area.
Yeah, but I think if I remember correctly, Iowa State was one of his, like, when they're doing the hats, the signing day. Felt like Iowa State was one of his final 4, and then he goes to North Carolina too. It's just there's been a lot of really impressive talent in high school basketball here in the state for quite a while.
All right, we're going to shift gears here a little bit, Justin. We've got to none of the stuff that I had on our rundown. By the way,
had breakdown Doug McDermott.
I sent you like 20 topics we were going to talk about. I think we touched on the very first one, which was how was St. Louis? Basically,
it was good.
The first question. And then I have, while we've been on the air and during our big commercial breaks, I actually found a really cool article right before we went on the air. I found this thing. And so I started looking at it. The Ringer has a really cool article out right now. I love these things. I think everybody loves lists, right? This is the 100 best sports moments of the century. So just think about it for a minute. The 100 best moments of the century. Now, I think a lot of people here in Central Iowa, they put the Cubs winning the World Series in that list.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's on the Ringer's list. That is number 9.
Helmet catch. Where's that?
Helmet catch. I went past it, Justin. It was up the list quite a bit.
Okay.
You're talking about...
I don't remember his name, but the Patriots Giants 07. Yeah,
David Tyree, was that his name?
Yep. Have you seen the video of him dropping every pass in practice right before the Super Bowl? And then he catches that? Yeah. It was during the Tom Brady Man in the Arena ESPN Plus documentary. They show video of, like, it was probably from Belichick. He probably sent it over. But their practice right before the Super Bowl is them throwing it to him, and he's dropping every ball. Every ball.
Didn't drop that one. Tiger winning the Masters again was number 7 when he won it at 43 years old. Number 6 is Ray Allen hitting that three-pointer that kept the Heat in the NBA Finals.
One of the best calls of all time, I think, in all of sports. Ray Allen, bang! And the crowd erupts. Oh, it's so good.
One that seems almost surreal to me as a sports fan. The kick 6.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Bama and Auburn, and the field goal falls short, and as no time on the clock, Auburn returns the kick for 6. That was number 5. Number 4, Michael Phelps and the greatest relay ever.
I remember watching him race a great white shark. Where's that?
Number 3 is the Red Sox beating the Yankees. Number 2 is the
wait. Go back to number 3. What was number 3? You said it too fast.
It's I'm having connectivity issues.
I looked it up. It says you may have connectivity issues.
I looked up I Googled your problems. It says you have connectivity issues. Number 2, and again, man, I'm kind of disappointed by this because it just says the block. What does that mean, Justin? If I say the block, the greatest NBA player of our generation leveraged every ounce of his strength, size, and athleticism in the 26 NBA championship for a block of Andre Iguodala.
Oh,
okay.
The LeBron Warriors block. Oh,
I totally lied to you. I swore I had seen the helmet catch up on the list before.
Is it number 1?
It's number 1. It's number 1.
It was because we were talking about high school basketball and you were reading the wrong bracket.
I was ripping through these trying to get down to, because it goes from 100 to 1. So as I was just kind of sitting, I was just scrolling through, and so it was happening over here on the side, and I was like, oh, wow, that seems pretty high for that. The Beastquake is 24.
Oh, hey, that's fitting, too, with that being Marshawn Lynch's number. People were asking Nicholas in the 86 Masters.
So this is, again, guys, these are the top 100 moments of the 2000s, basically. It's of this century. So you can't go back. You can't go back that
far. Wonder what's Tiger's chip in for the Masters? What was that? 05?
Oh, dude, that was iconic. You mean
that's what got me into golf.
The Nike logo stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that was amazing.
Have you heard the story behind that? Of how the cameraman was supposed to switch to Tiger's reaction, and he said no, and he left it on the ball. And Vern Lundquist tells the story, and he's like, yeah, it's going on in my headset of like these guys arguing, and the guy's like, I'm not leaving the ball. And it becomes this iconic shot that we almost missed.
Dude, I remember where I was when that happened. There's not very many sports moments in my life that I can tell you exactly where I was. I remember where I was when Kerry Wood went on that run against the Astros and was striking out every one of those dudes. I remember the phone call coming to, I'm at my dad's house. Phone rings, pick up the phone, and it was a guy by the name of Greg Agnes. He ran the sporting goods store in town. And he was calling my dad to say, you're watching this Cubs game, right? And I happen to answer the phone. He's like, tell me you're watching Kerry Wood right now. I'm like, no. He's like, turn it on. He's dealing. And this is another one. That's another one that I remember where I was. I was at the old building, and I don't know, not the one downtown, the one up in Ankeny that you don't even know about. Like the one.
Yeah, I didn't even know there's one in Ankeny.
Oh, dude, we had this room is bigger than that building was.
Wow.
This room is twice the size of what that studio was. And we would put 3 guys in there. You'd have a producer, a call screener, and a host. In a tiny, you had to answer the phone like this. Can I have your name, please? And that I remember we were getting ready to do our Sunday night baseball show, me and Chris Moeller. And we're waiting for the Masters to end so that we're listening to the coverage, we're watching, and that moment happens. It was just, remember where I was for that exact moment.
Do they have the Kerry Wood one on there by chance?
Well, that would have been 90.
Was that not in the early 2000? Oh, okay. Okay.
That would have been 97.
That's my bad. For some reason, I always think
Appalachian State beating Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Blocked,
07?
Blocked.
I would have, honestly, I probably would have gone there if I would have sat there and thought about long enough of that being called the block instead of LeBron chasing down Iguodala.
Okay. So what I saw earlier was the immaculate reception from Super Bowl 43. That was James Harrison's 100-yard pick six.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So when I saw the immaculate interception, and I think I just saw out of the corner of my eye, I must have saw immaculate reception and thought, well, that's the helmet catch. But
Gotcha.
no, it turns out helmet catch number 1, not in the middle at all. Not in the middle. These lists are fun, man. I will, and Caitlin Clark makes a couple of appearances on here, as she should.
Really?
As she should. I mean,
yeah.
If you go back these last 25 years, man, she's absolutely one of the most famous athletes in American sports. She'd be in that top 10, 15, 20 in almost every person's list. The LSU Iowa Angel Reese Caitlin Clark game is number 40.
Everyone was watching that game. That was one of those few sports moments where everyone, no matter if you liked sports or not, you were turning on that game. It was so cool.
This is one that I would have thought would have been higher too. Number 42, 16 seed UMBC takes down number 1 Virginia. That was a moment. That was again, guys calling each other and going, dude, it's going to happen. This is going to happen. You watching this? Are you watching True TV?
Oh, yeah. We're getting to that time of the year where you realize all True TV has is Impractical Jokers because every commercial is just Impractical Jokers.
I was watching a thing about, who cares? We got a couple minutes here. We'll just end this chasing a rabbit. I watched a deal about the UFC the other day and how they had lost so much money. And Dana White basically wanted to do the Ultimate Fighter television show and found Spike and said, hey, Spike, I've got this show. We can do about 12 episodes. You know, you guys should air this thing. And the UFC had to pay Spike to run the first season of The Ultimate Fighter, not the other way around. They had to go to Spike and say, we will keep your lights on if you let us air this television show. And then, of course, for a period of time, it was one of Spike's most watched shows.
Never knew that.
A lot like True TV and Practical Jokers. 47, the Steve Bartman incident.
I'm sure, again, I was 3 because I was 2003, right? So I don't remember watching that one, but I remember stories.
What year were you born?
2000, October of 2000.
I'm not sure this would have made my top 50 if I'd even sat down and thought about it. But number 50, Randy Johnson kills a bird.
That video is incredible. It's
of all the dudes, the guy that could throw like 100, he constantly threw 100 miles an hour. He happens to dot a dove? No way. Or a pigeon, whatever. It explodes, so I can't tell. I'm not a bird guy.
For the bird, wouldn't you rather get hit by a 101 mile per hour ball so then it's just gone?
That's
like
a good point.
Instead of like me throwing a ball and like injuring it.
That's a really good point. In the birding community, he went out a hero, right? Like, hey, did you hear about Larry? Lucky bastard. Didn't have to get the bird flu or nothing. Just flying around, living his best life. Oh,
watching
Larry,
a game.
He loved flying around the baseball field, didn't he? God, some bitch was living his best life. Good for him. We should all be so lucky. I'm sure that's how it goes, Justin.
I'm sure too.
Big thanks to Justin Miller. He's going to hang around with us for the second hour here. Justin's actually going to be back on Friday again. He might not know it now, but he's back on Friday and next Tuesday. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, this Friday and next
guy.
Tuesday. Set your alarm. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Rush Mornings, The Rush with Travis and Ross. We'll be back with hour number 2 in just a moment here on The Rush, TheRushRadio.com. Maybe.
Oh, so you can go to commercials while I'm talking, but when we're ready, you just decide not to? Okay, no, cool.
Oh, wait, Justin, I found it. Watch this.
Spring is coming up, and it's a time for cleaning and renewal. Get your spring cleaning started early with a fuel induction service from Willis Volvo Cars. This service cleans out carbon buildup and other deposits from the fuel injectors, intake valves, and combustion chamber. This service can provide fuel efficiency, performance, and power to make sure your Volvo is ready for spring and summer travel. Right now, we are offering 10% off a fuel induction service, so give us a call or head online to WillisVolvoCars.com.
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's trusted expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly wildlife solutions at a fair price. We safely remove bats, squirrels, raccoons, birds, and more so you can sleep soundly again. For a free estimate, call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage and Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage and Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage and Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
When it comes to mortgages, no one is more trusted than Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. With more than 25 years of experience, Gary has been Iowa's top mortgage banker for the past 5 years. With creativity and professionalism, Gary is dedicated to finding unique programs to help you afford the home you deserve. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank/Gary Presnall. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
They're the best commercials. I just love the Central City guys. Make way for the Natty. Hour number 2 of The Rush, therushradio.com. Glad to have you along with us. Justin Miller is filling in for Travis Justice. Don't think we'll see from Travis today. I don't know what he's exactly got going on. What's he even doing? What
is he doing up there?
What does he do with his time in Italy? Is he enjoying his time in Italy? How dare he? Quite frankly. How dare he?
How dare he? He's just here for the zip line, I swear.
Yeah. Another, I think you should leave reference that Justin and I think is hilarious that about 85% of the world is like,
you didn't say anything about when Drake won their 3rd straight, and I texted you, I said, triples are best. Triples are best.
Because if that's not true, then none of it's true, right, Dad?
It's so dumb. I love it.
I want to get into the NFL here because there's been a lot of changes, and that is really what I wanted to talk about. And I promised people we'd talk about boobs at some point. That's going to happen as well. We're going to get to it. But real quick, if you are into brand new stadium, I think you could call this stadium porn. Manchester United, one of the largest sports brands in the world, if not the largest sports brand in the world, up there with the Yankees, the Cowboys, and really rare air. They play in what's obviously one of the most famous soccer stadiums in the world. It's called Old Trafford. They're tearing it down. And they're building a new $2 billion stadium. The renderings of this thing are and I know that a lot of times the renderings of this stuff, the actual design turns out to be nothing like the spaceship looking renderings that they have for these stadiums. But if you are at all interested, this is worth a few minutes to just look up the new stadium for Manchester United. Holy cow. I mean, like the newest stadium that I've been in, and it was finished, and Chris and I were allowed to go in the door, was the Vikings' new stadium,
which looks awesome.
It's amazing, and it is again, with how fast technology advances, man, when you are on the cutting edge of it, it feels like you're in a spaceship. It's just amazing how all of the commodities and amenities are laid out before you, easily accessible. It's awesome. This is that on steroids. It's a $2 billion stadium. If you get a chance today, go check that out. That's something you can waste some time on. All right, Justin, let's get into the NFL here. Let's first maybe even start with your Seahawks. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, buddy. So Geno's gone. DK's gone. But you guys got a new quarterback, Sam Darnold, to the rescue for your Seattle Seahawks. Let's talk first about losing those guys, because I mean,
lost Lockett too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Lockett's
Released
gone
him.
also. Released him. Metcalf ends up with the Steelers.
Yeah, okay. DK, I've had conversations with a lot of people of I like trading DK because we're not going to be a Super Bowl contender. We're right there at being just a playoff contender, if that. So I loved DK, hell of an athlete. Anybody is lucky to have him on your team. He makes your wide receiving core so much better with him just being there. But he brings so much possibility, and you can get trades, you can get draft picks. So a team that's really struggling to kind of rebuild, I was okay with trading him away. I'm just tired of giving people to the Steelers because I hate the Steelers. I've always hated the Steelers. So I'm tired of seeing Russell Wilson in a Steelers jersey, and now I'll have to see DK in one. But I've been fine with trading him for a while. In that deal, I don't love it. I don't hate it, but I'll take a second rounder for DK because I don't think anyone was going to give a first round pick for DK Metcalf.
Justin, you've got the right attitude on DK there. You got what you wanted out of him. You got a nice career out of DK Metcalf, and now you get to not necessarily trading him at the peak, but you nailed it. You're not going to get out of him what you need to get to become a Super Bowl contender.
No.
So get what you can for him before that commodity really goes over the hill and starts to go down. Because I mean, you don't stay that fast and that strong forever.
No. And then here, the other thing is, one, this is a team that's struggling to find a quarterback. I mean, they may have found their savior.
Well, I'm going to ask you about that. How are you feeling about Darnold?
Wait
and see.
I don't like it at all.
Wow.
He's had one good year. He had, I think, over 3,500 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. That's really good. And he was a comeback player. Geno Smith was also the comeback player at one point. Here's the thing. You look at the final two games Darnold played, and I believe it was against the Eagles and the Rams. The dude had one touchdown pass, 3 interceptions, and was hurried and sacked the most he had been all year long. And that's going to be more common for him now because Seattle's had one of the worst offensive lines that has been in the NFL here the last few years. It's been the biggest thing I've wanted this team to change for the last few years is build up that offensive line because Russell was trying to just survive out there when he was on the team. Geno getting pressured multiple times. So I don't think Darnold's the answer. Darnold, though, the only thing is I saw yesterday from Schefter that Seahawks offered Geno Smith $40 to $45 million in guaranteed money. Or no, not in guaranteed money. $40 to $45 million a year. And he turned it down, requested a trade. Darnold now will pay like $36 million a year in that 5-year contract. It's just, I think it's a lot of money. I think, honestly, him and Geno are the same quarterback. But I don't think it's a linear move. It's a linear move. It's the same quarterback in a sense. And we don't have an offensive line. You've now ripped away all of his weapons. So he has JSN. Maybe we can pick up Ibuka, which I would love from Ohio State being a Buckeye fan too. But I don't like the move with Darnold. I'm happy it's not Rodgers, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that
I
don't hate Aaron Rodgers. You don't like him?
I liked him with the Packers. I think it's over. Like he's hit his peak, or the end of the road is in sight. And he has a lot of off the field stuff that, is polarizing. I don't really care about that stuff, but I just think he doesn't seem like a locker room guy.
It's definitely a distraction. I mean, the guy, even when he was a great player, that stuff was a distraction, but he was good enough to drown out that noise. Now he can't play at that level where he can be that distraction. And I think, like most people, it seems to me that he's drifting more towards the distractions than he is back into football.
Yeah.
Maybe I talked about, because I was getting ready to say, man, I think I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers than Sam Darnold. No, I wouldn't. Not right now. Not right now. Any other time in history, I think you'd have been safe to say that. Not right now.
And Jason is right that it was the Lions, or I'm sorry, Frank, the Lions and Rams. That was Darnold's last games.
Thank you, Frank. Lost the Lions Rams back-to-back weeks twice.
Again, like the Rams have a really good defensive line that's going to cause issues for Seattle. Arizona is getting a little tougher on the defensive front. They're not great by any means. 49ers are the 49ers with Bosa. And so you're not playing in an easy division too with a weak offensive line. It's the biggest issue Seattle has had for the past 5 years, and they haven't done anything to fix it. And I don't really see the vision with Darnold. I would have rather traded Metcalf, try to, draft a quarterback maybe like Dylan Gabriel if he's available.
And keep him behind Geno for a while? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, Geno would have been gone regardless because he requested a trade.
Okay.
So it would have been one of those seasons where maybe you try to pick up Dylan Gabriel in the draft if he falls to the second round, hopefully. But I don't know. I don't see the vision. I don't hate the DK trade. Lockett was in sight. I mean, it was rumors all season long that he was just going to retire. But yeah, so I just don't see the vision with Darnold. I hope I'm wrong. I hope, because I put out a tweet of saying like, damn it, no, hate this. I hope people retweet this in January and they're like, do you still hate this as the Seahawks are whatever, 11-3? I would love to be wrong, but I don't think I am.
$100 million. The Steeler and Hawk is a little bit upset at you for hating on the Steelers, but I think you laid it out. You don't hate them. You only hate them because you had to watch some of your favorite players put on that uniform. And I think
I hate them because they cheated in Super Bowl 40. I'm one of those guys. They paid the refs. Definitely. I'll go full Bill Blank on that Super Bowl.
It's a hill he's willing to die on, folks. I can't. I tried to back him off of it. Can't do it. Sorry, Steeler and Hawk. He says $100 million for a dude that has had one good season. Salaries are out of control. Josh Allen signed the largest salary. His is $250 million. And
worth it though. Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. Do you disagree with that?
I disagree. It gives me pause.
Okay. Why?
It gives me pause. I mean. All right. Again, as I think about this stuff out loud, I instantly realize, you know how much people are paid, Justin? They're paid what they're worth.
Mm-hmm.
They're paid what they're worth, and people that are a lot smarter with their bajillions of dollars than I've ever been with my bajillions of dollars have decided that Josh Allen is worth $250 million, and those people have done the math to know they're going to make money off of paying Josh Allen $250 million. So that's where I should start is go, wow, what a weird world that we live in where a dude can do this and make $250 million. That's fantastic and good for him. In my head, the reason I paused right away is because you got to win. You got to win. You've got to. It's not enough to. I mean, getting to Super Bowls is great. It's great. You got to win it.
He hasn't even made a Super Bowl, too.
That's exactly it. He's made it to conference championships, and that's it. So, but again, is he one of the best quarterbacks in the league? No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Could the Bills get somebody else? Could they bring in Geno Smith and have the same success? Hell no.
No.
Not no. Hell no. So, yeah, he's worth it. He's worth it because a guy has decided to pay him that money, and
he's the MVP. I mean, that roster was depleted going into the last season, and he wins MVP because he led that team that didn't have a lot of good names to the AFC title game.
And Justin, I'm just not very good with, we talked earlier about not predicting what's going to happen with stuff. I'm not very good at predicting how quarterbacks are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Justin Fields was going to be, I thought he was going to be the guy that turned around Chicago. And then when he went to Pittsburgh, I was like, this is going to be a great fit for him. Under Mike Tomlin, got some tools around him. Well, then turns out Russell Wilson at the end of his career is still a better quarterback than Justin Fields a couple years into it. Justin Fields now going to the Jets to replace Aaron Rodgers, but that might not be the end of the maneuvering. Is Justin Fields just not that good of a quarterback?
No, Justin Fields is a good quarterback. Didn't he have a 5-0 record starting with the Steelers?
That's why, dude. This is what I'm trying to figure out.
It was just,
I really
the
liked
Bears
him.
sucked.
Why can't? and how will it work with the Jets? They've got. I mean, I thought they had a squad around Rodgers. Maybe that was a personnel issue. Maybe that was, personalities were getting in the way of something. I don't know.
I think Fields is a good quarterback. Now, arm talent, he's not 100% accurate. Like Russell Wilson's a better throwing quarterback than Justin Fields. But I would have thought for sure the Steelers were going to try to keep Fields for a few more years. He went 5-0. He can scramble still really. He's really athletic still. He's young. I just think, not a lot of people have great success on the Bears. Not a lot of people have great success on the Jets. But it seems like when guys get out of that situation, Darnold, Geno, they have better opportunities.
They do find success.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, man, Chris Shipley, thanks so what? He says, my old man used to say it's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for. Chris, that was my dad said that to me so much collecting baseball cards. Dad, this Ramon Martinez rookie card's worth $3. No, it's not. Nope. Go to Four Seasons and ask the guy there. He'll tell you it's worth 9 cents. How about this? Senorita Parker signing in. Hey, hola.
Hola. I sucked at Spanish, but I loved that class. It was so fun.
Dude, I bet you didn't suck at Spanish as much as I did.
Okay. That one gives me a Josh Allen pause, but okay, I can hear it out.
Our Spanish teacher was named Miss Hanson.
Okay.
And I literally remember sitting in the hallway more than the classroom.
Okay, then I was better. Because it was there's 4 Spanish classes. Spanish 1 is like beginner. And that's you take that freshman year.
To give you an idea, I did Spanish 1 all 4 years of my school.
I really struggled with Spanish 3. That was the one where I was like, ooh.
Wait a minute. You made it to Spanish 3?
Yeah, I did it through I just didn't do it senior year. Because that's the one you walk in and they're talking fluent Spanish right away. It's like,
that was when I was like, I think I need to go back to the hallway.
They were doing that in Spanish 1 for you guys?
I meant to show Shipley's comment here because Chris Shipley, our buddy from Three Beards, he says, I'm a Bears fan. Justin Fields is just not very good.
I think I think there could be 2 truths here. Yeah. I think Fields did not play good with the Bears. I also didn't think the Bears set him up to succeed, though. I think both are at fault. But I think what I saw from Justin Fields with the Steelers convinced me that he is still a good quarterback.
We're going to see. Did you see a couple other signings I thought we'd talk about here? Lions did sign DJ Reed, so he'll replace Carlton Davis at cornerback. Godwin to the Bucks.
Re-signing with the Bucks.
Re-signing with the Bucks?
Yeah. Good move because you have Baker, who's still playing well with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
The Browns, the Bears, and the Jets. It seems like when quarterbacks get out of that situation, they succeed. Carolina could be in that conversation too.
Rodgers signed with the Vikings. That's a big one.
Oh, wow. Aaron Rodgers?
No, Isaiah Rodgers.
Oh,
You idiot. You
my
moron.
bad. I do hear the rumor that Rodgers may go to the Steelers. That's kind of the new rumor.
Yeah, I think I'd heard that as well yesterday, but
Not the legendary Isaiah Rodgers. He's with the Vikings. I mean, that other guy, Aaron.
Not the legendary Isaiah Rodgers. Did you see the story about Derek Carr's restructuring of his deal?
I saw you put this in the rundown. I did not see the full story, though. But if I'm the Saints, that's kind of the guy I would want.
It's not the guy they want.
Really? Okay.
Justin, they restructured his contract so they can get rid of him at the end of this year. They asked Derek Carr. It's a pretty wild story. I want to get to it here so I can get some details for it. They asked him to take a pay cut. And he said, "No. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to renegotiate with you guys." Well, in the NFL, you can renegotiate, but the team can restructure your deal. Without negotiating with you, the team can restructure your deal. That's what the Saints did. So the Saints were going to take a huge salary cap hit with Derek Carr. They went to him and said, "Will you take a pay cut? And we'll keep you around for a few more years." And he said, "No, I'm not taking a pay cut." So they went behind him. I need to get rid of Shipley's comment here. Sorry, we don't need to. Sorry, Chris, we love you, but
Justin Fields is watching, going, "What the hell?
What the hell?" So basically, the Saints were doing some math for the next couple of years and realizing they were going to take a huge cap hit. They were going to take a $51 million cap hit. Well, by restructuring his deal, basically he will probably, more than likely, not be a Saint after this year, and they will save over $30 million on that cap hit. That means the way they restructured the deal, their cap hit next year is going to be $20 million instead of $51 million. But it also is leading a lot of people to believe they're moving on. This is basically a contract that says you get to be the starting quarterback for one more year.
Derek Carr's a guy that I think has always been a good quarterback. Is he top 5? No. In the NFL? No. But I think he does. He has that veteranship that can lead a team to a couple of wins, maybe a playoff run. But the Saints they're kind of like the Seahawks, where they just kind of need to rebuild. Like, yeah, try to save up as much money as possible. I didn't know his contract deal. I didn't know how much money they would owe him. So I was just going off of what I was watching. I was like, I'd rather have him than have him playing every position on the field.
I'm reading from SaintsWire.com, which is a USA Today subsidiary. Derek Carr won't be taking a pay cut. Instead, the New Orleans Saints are restructuring their contract with Carr to save about $30 million. This is reported by Mike Garofalo and Ian Rappaport. Saints had initially approached Carr about taking a pay cut, but he dug in his heels and got his money. He received a fully guaranteed $40 million this year, but this restructure did reduce Carr's salary cap hit down from $51 million to about $20 million. The Saints are going to save $31 million by restructuring his contract. They didn't need his permission to do a restructure, which is standard around the league.
That is crazy to me, how you can just restructure someone's contract out of the blue.
As long as they're getting the, I think that I think the way that it works, Justin, legally is as long as you're getting the money that we signed the contract to pay you, that's fine. The years in which we pay you is what affects our salary cap, so we can restructure that. Now, I don't think that they can. I don't think that they can restructure it to say, "Oh yeah, we're going to do a Bobby Bonilla thing. We're just not going to pay you. We're going to do Shohei Ohtani. We're going to pay you all. We're going to pay your relatives all the money in 2,300. And we just restructured that for you. Don't worry. You don't even have to sign anything. It's all done." I had something else for you, Justin. Now I'm because I want to get to the fun stuff, but there's other important stuff. Hold on. I know what the last thing I wanted to talk to you about was, because you mentioned it earlier with your Seahawks. The latest mock drafts are out after some of the free agent shufflings happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So right now, the latest mock draft I saw, Cam Ward to the Titans at number 1. Travis Hunter being the second pick going to Cleveland, and then Shedeur Sanders is right now the mock draft third pick going to the Giants.
Man, Sanders a guy too where he's good. Of course we know he's good, but I wonder how he is as a locker room guy. Is there going to be distractions? For some reason, Hunter doesn't hit me as a guy that would cause distractions. Sanders, it's probably because of what I watch with his dad, strikes me as someone that would be an issue in the locker room. Hunter going to the Browns, it just depends who they get at quarterback, because Deshaun Watson, they messed that up. We all knew they were going to mess that up, picking up him with all that off the field issues and all the money they gave him. But there's a rumor that the Browns may go after Russell Wilson, and I think Wilson is still a really good quarterback and have a fast, speedy receiver like Hunter. I don't know.
I mean, again, I think like most people, I just assume if you go to Cleveland, you're going to have a couple years in the mud. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough for Travis Hunter to be the player that I hope Travis Hunter can be, because, man, that dude was an absolute freak. Is an absolute freak.
Oh, yeah.
I hope that he's able to have the guys around him that's able to highlight that in the NFL. I don't think Cleveland is that place.
But maybe he can get his money at least.
That's
true. Look at Myles
That's
Garrett. He went from, hey, get me the hell out of Cleveland, to they're like, we'll pay you the most money we possibly can. Okay.
Yep.
Where's
I'll
the
hang
paper?
Shedeur and the Giants, I don't know which one of them is the more toxic part of that relationship, but I don't think that that's going to work out at all.
Yeah.
They're way more than a quarterback away from being a good football team. Way more. And I don't think Shedeur Sanders has that type of maybe I'm wrong about him. Justin, I think I'm combining two things. Number one, what you're talking about, his kind of attitude, brashness, I think cockiness, whatever you want to call that. He's got a way about him, and that ain't going to change. New York, he's not going to win next year. The Giants aren't going to be a great team next year.
No.
So you're going to combine two things: a guy with high expectations and a lot of attitude in a New York market where the team's not going to succeed. That's going to put a ton of pressure on a guy who kind of pushes back against pressure. He doesn't have that Derek Jeter type of thing about him. He doesn't have that Phil Simms thing. Shedeur's a lot more like his dad. And I don't think that that's going to be a good mix. I've been wrong before, and I hope people understand I've been a huge fan of the Sanders. I loved Colorado. I'm really rooting for Dion, even in the face of him doing some really stupid stuff. I hope that works out, because he's such a disruptor.
Doesn't it strike you,
the
though?
Giants just seems to me like oil and water.
I'm glad you're saying that, because that's how I feel too. But doesn't it feel like, since the Giants messed up so badly not picking Daniels, when like his 15-year-old kid is telling him to pick up Jaden Daniels, that now they're just going to panic? And they're like, oh, we have to take a quarterback here in the third pick and take the best available.
Probably. I mean, Justin, they've made some, obviously letting Barkley go was number one.
And putting your chips on Danny Dimes.
That's why I just don't think that's going to be a good fit at all. The organization is not heading in the right direction. I don't think that this one guy is the fix. Again, if I were the Giants, I would, if most of the time, if I had one of these top picks, I would trade it. You're so far, you're not one player away. Now, unless you can get a super, like getting Cam Ward, maybe that's the type of thing that helps the Titans, because it does give you a little bit of a face of a franchise, gives you some hope. You kind of get this Trevor Lawrence effect in a way, right? Where you when you draft a quarterback number in the first round or in with the first pick, a lot of your fans are going to give you some time. They say, okay, yeah, we see that you've invested. We see what the game plan is. Couple years down the road, let's start winning. Now, if you're not winning in a couple years, that you've risked it all. You've put all of your eggs in that hope basket, and that can fall apart. I'm not as, when I see Cam Ward at Tennessee, I kind of see that process happening, right? Where there won't be that pressure right away for him to win. But, man, the New York's a different beast. Shadur's a different animal. He's going to come in with even probably more expectations than Cam Ward, as unfair as that would be.
It's going to be wild. This is such a fun time of the year. Like, you have free agency in the NFL. This is one of the craziest ones, I think, in the past few years, of just everybody's moving. Everybody's making deals. And then you have March Madness coming up. And then you're a month away from the Masters. Oh, I love it. I love this time of the year. I geek over it.
Justin is this is why we love having him around here. Justin's going to be back with us on Friday, and then again next Tuesday. Travis might hook up with us. I know we're going to have Travis with us again tomorrow, but Travis might maybe we'll hear from him today. We'll see. Hook up with us on X at Rush Mornings, Twitter, The Rush with Travis and Ross, and Instagram, The Rush Radio Show. We'll be back to wrap up hour number 2 on The Rush with TheRushRadio.com.
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's trusted expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly wildlife solutions at a fair price. We safely remove bats, squirrels, raccoons, birds, and more so you can sleep soundly again. For a free estimate, call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
When it comes to mortgages, no one is more trusted than Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines, Iowa's top mortgage banker for the past 5 years. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
My name is Corey Allen, and I'm a recon tech at Willis Automotive. Worked here for about a year and 3 months. Was an express tech before this. I was in the automotive field before I came here. Needed a different change of pace from, the management and everything, and someone who already works here, who liked how everything was ran, told me about it, told me that there was a spot open, and told me to give it a shot, and I've liked it ever since. A lot of good people that work here. Everyone's willing to share their knowledge. Yeah, I would say that's about it.
If you have a pest problem with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
Back at it with The Rush on TheRushRadio.com. I really hope Senorita Puffer is still hanging around, because we've got a story that is like literally right up her alley. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that she's going to like all of it, but this is right up her alley, because she would be the one that could actually confirm or deny, but I'm pretty sure the internet's already confirmed and not denied. All right. Here's the story. I want you to, in your head, imagine a Texas Rangers baseball cap. Okay, just close your eyes. Imagine that blue cap with the big T on it, right? Well, they got clever, and they were like, you know what? We're going to mix some things up, okay? What if we kept that great big white T on the front of our cap, and then we put the word Texas in behind it? Wouldn't that be cool? Doesn't that seem like a good idea to have Texas laid out behind that great big T? Cool idea, right? Then they put it down on paper. Yeah, looks good. So they printed a bunch of hats, put them out there on the market without realizing that that giant T was completely covering the X. So the hat reads TETAS. The hat says Titas. That's titties.
Damn right it is. Popping off the market.
Texas had to pull these hats. The Rangers pulled these hats from their online store. There are a lot of questions. All right. There's not a Spanish speaker on the team. There's not a Spanish speaker in your public relations team, in your marketing team for the Texas Rangers. You don't have anybody that's bilingual a little bit. You don't got a Senorita Puffer hanging around there to go, oh, hey, guys, you might want to know.
You don't even need someone to be bilingual. You need someone to just look at it and go, nah, no. That brings me to a second question, because every MLB team is doing this. Why? They look ugly.
Justin,
it's like, hey, you guys want to see a hat that looks like we messed up?
We screwed up, right? You know, Ray Gun has those shirts. I have a couple of them. They're like the what does Mike call them? Oh man, basically they use them as like their tester shirts. And so, have you ever done this? You go into Raygun, they do sell shirts that they use as tester shirts, and so it's got like 8 or 9 logos on it. It's got 8 or 9 different T-shirt designs. I've got one, and it's got John Stewart for president on the back, and it's got like 7 different things. You can't even read it. It's just an amalgamation of stuff. And those are tester shirts that they do to make sure that the ink is working right and that it's going to look right, it's going to press. And then they do a bunch of those on one T-shirt, and then they just throw that T-shirt kind of aside. Well, Mike figured out a long time ago, well, people like those. People like Ross will buy those. So Major League Baseball decided, we're gonna go kind of ray gun here. We're gonna throw a couple designs on a hat at one time. Titas be damned.
Mike suggests that they knew what they were doing. That this isn't a mess up. They wanted to solve some of these ugly hats and boob sell. So, boom.
Mike says you also... Mike's on fire here. Mike says, already bought my hat. Already bought my Titas hat. And he says Oakland did the same thing. Oakland has one that says A's.
Ass. I would buy an ass hat. I think that would be great. I would 100%. We missed something though. So Mike, he says, already bought my Titas hat this morning off TikTok. So did they pull them off? Did you say they pulled them off of their shop?
I thought I read that they had to pull them.
But that means like people who... Or does that mean, people who already bought it can resell it on TikTok? I wonder how that works. Or is he getting an off-brand Titas hat?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the A's one right now. It doesn't quite say that. I mean, it's the A's logo, but the Athletics is kind of angled, so you can kind of see that one. These are objectively ugly, awful hats all the way through.
They're misprints. It's like, oh crap, we put 2 hats together. Toss it.
The Padres one is really bad. It looks like it says Pastes. It says PA and then the SDES. That one's really bad. The Angels one looks like...
Okay, I need to look up the Angels one because I don't remember that one.
I can't believe that wasn't the lead of the story. So imagine Angels. All right, folks. All right. We gave you the visual with the Texas. The TE, giant TAS. In the Angels, the A is over the top of the G.
Can I just show it?
Sure. We're on the internet. It says anals. It says an anal. That's what that says. How else would you say that word?
Anna L's.
Sure.
Oh, dude, buy an A's and an Angels cap. Have them together. They feel like they should go together.
See what you're trying to do there, Justin.
The Houston one says Ash Hose.
It does. Ashos, right?
Yeah.
The Mariners one says Massiers. They are
Boston,
really
Bob-on.
I'm glad you showed that one, Justin, so people could get an idea of it. I'm looking through these, and the the anals jumped out at me.
Oh, these are awful. Why?
They are really bad. Really bad. Justin, at
least the Angels are used to being behind, so.
And the A's.
And the A's.
The A's are used to being the ass of the league.
Yeah. Might as well just put it on your jersey.
JT just writes this in perfect timing, JT. Just like the product on the field. Exactly, buddy.
Oh, man.
Objectively awful. I did see one thing yesterday that I thought was kind of cool in baseball fashion. And I'm not a uniform guy. We talk about this a lot. It's not for me as a 46-year-old white dude in Des Moines, Iowa. They're not creating new uniforms to appeal to me. But the Orioles are going to go back to an all-orange fit. They're going to add that orange pants, orange top back into their rotation this year. And when I clicked on that, I was like, yeah, that looks like the Orioles. That looks like that's like I won't call it classic, but it kind of feels, sure.
Okay.
I don't know how else to say it besides when it pops up, like, a lot of times I see these uniforms and I go, that does not look like the Bears. That does not look like the Seahawks. When the Seahawks wear their green, Justin, I'm always like, yeah, right. That's right.
It hurts your eyes.
Yeah, there are just times when a team wears a uniform and you go, what are you doing? The Orioles one, I saw it and I went, yeah, you could have just put that on my screen and I just said, well, that's an Orioles player. That I think is what they should go for. That was really neat.
I'm a big logo uniform guy.
You are?
Yeah. So I've always liked the Orioles. I like the logo they have now, which was their kind of classic logo. Them and the Blue Jays going back to their classic logo. I'm 100% behind that because those ones they had in like the mid 2000s sucked. They were ugly. They try to make them look like angry. They try to make them look cool.
Yeah.
It just,
that was, you had to have black to be cool.
Yeah.
If you got the blacker your uniforms could be, it was like, oh, we're gonna be all murdered out here, and everybody's gonna be scared of us. You still suck. You still suck. I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, one of my favorite topics is the absolute scam that is the Olympics. The Olympics are coming to America. They're going to be in L.A., and there was an interesting press conference the other day, and I saw this article on Yahoo. So the FIFA president came to this is the World Cup. I'm sorry, I said the Olympics. This is the World Cup is coming to they're the same thing. They're both a con. They're both an absolute con. They end up taking all the money. They end up destroying these cities. The taxpayers will pay to build facilities that will be abandoned within months of these. Even in LA, this is going to happen. They have to build special roads for these FIFA dignitaries to get back and forth to the. Seriously, they can't. They won't allow the FIFA dignitaries won't travel on the same roads as you folks.
Peasants.
Yeah, and Tyler's right. Both are coming to the USA, but this particular story that I saw yesterday was about the FIFA World Cup. And it was interesting because the FIFA president, Gianna, whatever his name is, nobody can say it or cares, promises that it's going to bring a $40 billion boost to the U.S. economy. $40 billion boost to the U.S. economy. After we build stadiums, after you build special roads, you're going to make $40 billion on this thing. How do we know that's a lie? Because that's what FIFA does. FIFA does this every single place. They stand up there with the leader of the country and they say, "Oh, you lucky sons of bitches. You lucky. We are going to bless you with the ability to make $40 billion. That's what we're going to do here."
Isn't Rio still like having major issues?
Justin, you can go through every single one of these destinations and sites that FIFA has been in, that the Olympics have been through, and they leave a wake of destruction behind them.
So you say you can go back years, I mean, with both of these. What I felt like we didn't hear anything about it because when did they come to Atlanta? In America, wasn't that like 96?
Yep.
But I don't feel like we hear anything awful from what's happened there. So does it just okay? Maybe I'm just not educated on it too. Because
no, it's not that you're not educated about it. I think that if you know the name Mitt Romney,
yeah,
right? Mitt Romney was a guy that ran for president, and Mitt Romney got his name, Justin. He was known as the guy that saved the Olympics at one point in time. Yeah, I know that sounds...
Never knew that.
Yeah, it sounds weird. Google it. You'll find it. That Mitt Romney, that was like his first little blast into American public life was he was the guy that, quote, saved the Olympics. It did that in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City was where that was. So... there have been things like that. And, what happened in Atlanta, I think the Atlanta thing, and Tyler says 94 FIFA was in LA, 96 it was the Olympics in Atlanta. The Atlanta one, remember, that was the Richard Jewell thing. There was the bombing in the Atlanta Olympics. Do you remember that, Justin?
Oh, see, no, I didn't know about anything of that. No.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me look really dumb. Be like, nothing happened in Atlanta.
No, I mean, that's, no. So there's always been stuff. But I found this story the other day about FIFA sitting there with President Trump, promising $40 billion coming to our economy, all this amazing stuff. And if, again, as a guy that has been kind of hip to this game for a long time, I look at it and go, "Oh, hello, baby. How are you? Getting ready? See Justin? Did you say hi to him? Yeah.
I still just always think of, yeah, we don't like him.
She does like you, Justin. That was one of the... Tell Justin what we think of him. Yeah, we don't like you.
Oh.
Yeah, so, okay. Figures. All right.
This is why I'm always commenting and talking crap about you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't blame you. I do the same thing. How about that? How's that feel? I found this thing last night that another example of how disgusting the internet can be. Serena Williams posted this really kind of cute video, right? It's her making a meal with her kids. It's on, I think she posted it on Instagram.
That's where I saw it, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a fun video. It's got a fun little music with it. It's her making gumbo. So she's cutting up sausage and onions and peppers and all sorts of stuff. And the video's got her kids running around, and the kids are helping around the kitchen. And at one point, she kind of leans down, gives a little sausage to the dog, and keeps right on working and making the food, posts the video. and the internet does what the internet does. I watched it. I didn't think anything of it. At no point in the video did I go, what the hell was that? Then you pull up the comments, and the comments are like, you can't feed your dog while you're making food. You gotta, what are you doing?
Which anyone who commented that, I am calling BS that you've never fed a pet your like human food. We all, if there's crumbs on the table, we all just go, and like
Listen,
swipe it off for the
I'll
dog.
readily admit I'm a pretty gross guy. I'll let dogs kiss me. I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
I will feed a dog out of my hand and then not wash my hand. No, I'm not gonna feed the dog and then lick my fingers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm also not. Man.
I asked you this morning where I was like, okay, so I watched that Serena video. Is it really just about feeding a dog
Is it
sausage?
really just about her giving the dog a piece of sausage off the table?
And I feel like too, if I remember the video correctly, I felt like she like tossed it too. She didn't even just like flat palm it. She like tossed the sausage and the dog caught it. Maybe I need to rewatch it. But even if she just handed the dog, it's a dog. It's fine. People suck.
They do. They do. Speaking of sucking, I screwed something up because somebody wrote in on the comments and I can't find it now. Apparently, I've been mispronouncing it. It's not Titas, it's Tetas.
Tetas? Oh.
Listen,
So
when
funny.
when I was in Spain, I never had to say titties. Not the whole time I was there. Not one time did I have to say titties. Probably a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Now that I say it out loud, I go, wait a minute. Why didn't I ever have to say titties? And somebody, think of the Spanish speaker that would have corrected me on that.
I was saying Tetas. Teta.
Oh, I'm sorry. Get your tatas out of my face. This is one of my favorites earlier, too. Tyler said, I've been called an ass hat, so might as well get one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's perfect. The ass hat.
I think that's great.
Sports gambling. So, I should bring this up, man. One of our comments earlier, one of our listeners wanted to talk about Perino from Iowa State. This is a kid that got caught up in that gambling thing and has been able to that gambling thing, man, in Iowa. Did you see Hunter Deckers on with Gruden the other day?
I didn't see him with Gruden. No.
Yeah, he did like so. We're getting to that point where these guys are coming back around and hopefully resurfacing again. Perino Johnson is one of them. Great to see him rebound and recover from that. I don't even know what to call it. Ugly situation.
Yeah.
It's hard to. I don't want to pick sides on it or anything like that. But man, just a
both,
crappy situation.
Both are kind of at fault.
Yep.
Yeah, just tough situation. But it is one of those where you read it, you looked at it, and you go, okay, yes, should they be punished because they broke rules? Absolutely. But hopefully it's not something that just is a cloud that hangs over them for the rest of their life. Hopefully it is something they can move on from.
I know, Mike. I know.
Yeah, you didn't.
I know.
Didn't see any Tetas?
I hadn't thought about it until today. Because, again, I didn't know the Spanish word for it. You can't know what you don't know.
Yeah. And guess what we're not out by?
Oh, yeah, we will be.
Oh, no, we
will
will be.
Still got,
I was
we still
looking
got a
up
couple
at
minutes
the live number. So I was looking at the wrong thing.
No, I think we're good. We're good. We got a little bit of time here yet.
Oh, my God. I'm drunk, by the way. I love Trav. Trav was one of those guys because I think you were the one that told me the story that he called you right after I did like the first show and he was like, don't like Justin. I was worried, like just from what I'd listened to on the radio. I'm like, I think Trav is going to hate me. And then when you finally get to know Trav, it's like, I love Trav.
Here's what, and I don't remember, but Travis's thing with you was just more. He didn't know if we were going to be able to get you because you're pretty green, and you're a pretty straight arrow,
and I look like a 12-year-old.
And Travis wants to talk about titties and being drunk. Yeah, and
everyone
so
loves.
I think that was his. I think that first instinct was like, man, am I going to be able to get this guy out of his comfort zone? And he obviously was able to, and then you guys became great friends. I will tell you this about Travis. I've said this before. Travis has a sixth sense about people. It's unbelievable. I've never seen him be wrong. I'm not kidding you. I love everybody. I meet people and I'm like, oh, Justin's the greatest thing ever. I love this guy. He's amazing. And I do that with everybody. If I meet you, I like you and I love you. And then I wait for you to disappoint me and burn me and then I hate you. Travis does the exact opposite. Travis has this sixth sense about people. He meets you, he looks into your soul, and he judges your character. And he's very good at it. I'm not kidding you. The guy I've not seen him miss. It takes years for those things to develop. Years. Sometimes 15. I've never seen him be wrong about a person. Never, Justin. I'm not kidding you. The dude has a sixth sense about human beings.
He says he's on his second wine tasting. He'll probably have a bottle by himself.
And here's the other thing, Justin. He hasn't drank in months.
Oh, so this is like party time.
Absolute lightweight right now. He's an absolute lightweight. And he's in his second wine tasting, having a bottle by himself.
I would love to actually, because like Megan loves wine. I'm not a wine guy whatsoever. I haven't found one wine that I enjoy. And I need to sit down with Trav.
That's going to change. Yeah.
Is it like coffee?
Yeah, I think that's a way to look at it. I was your way. I didn't like wine for a long time, Justin. Then I had a buddy that started selling good wine. He became a wine distributor, and we got a couple of bottles from him, and that totally changed it. And then for a while, I was like drink wine every night guy. And now I haven't had a glass of wine in a while. When I was in Spain, had wine all the time. Justin, thank you so much for hopping on with us today. Say bye, Audrey. Bye.
Wait, so, okay, I'm coming next Tuesday and next Friday?
Don't worry about it. Okay? This Friday and next Tuesday. All right?
Okay.
Couple days. Just do this. Every morning, wake up at 5 and see if there's an email from me, okay? If there's an email, hop on with us. Thanks so much for joining us today. You can subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Big thanks to Justin Miller for hanging out with us here on a Tuesday. Travis is going to be back with us live tomorrow morning from Italy.
Spring is in the air and the perfect time to take care of your vehicle. Your car has worked hard all winter. Now it's time to give it the care it deserves. Did you know spark plugs should be replaced every 60,000 miles on some newer turbocharged vehicles? Also, carbon deposits on the valves can disrupt the airflow of the engine. These simple services can keep your engine running smoothly, ensure you start every adventure with confidence. Visit Willis Chevrolet today and make sure your car is ready for the road ahead.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Do you have a pest problem? With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
Believe it or not, spring is coming. When it does, be absolutely organized with custom garage or closet systems from Absolute Garage and Closets. Turn a winter mess into a spring success at our showroom in Urbandale or visit absolutegarage.net.
Largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbox to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.